All right, so it looks like it's another day. So let's get ourselves situated. So far so good with surviving as a trader. We have a decent amount of funds now since we've been trading and selling our loot that we've been finding at the abandoned settlements. And that's been great so far. All right. I do notice that I don't have much in terms of hydrogen. And as you see here, I only have a little bit of ice, not too much whatsoever. And of course, I'm wasting oxygen right there. We could do an oxygen farm to help with the oxygen gathering on the oxygen tank. And yeah, I really don't want to burn my ice because that's not an ideal thing at the moment. I mean, I'll burn the ice for the hydrogen and everything like that through the rover because it just makes more sense to do it that way for now, so we don't lose too much ice, because ice is going to be scarce and pretty much necessary for the most part. All right, so what we need to do is basically get to my O2 H2, actually turn it on, actually turn them off now, so that we don't mistakenly lose our ice. And I can't put my O2 H2 generator from back here. Why? Because it's too small port. Yeah, it's a small port over there. Oh, this is gonna be bad. So the setup of how I have it now, I can't pull the O2H2. I can't put the bottles in the O2H2 because it's going off of the survival kit's small ports on one side, and then it's going to be coming from the cockpit small port on this side, which is causing the problem. So we have a conveyor converter to get the large to small, which is a good thing to move small materials, but it's not a good idea for these bigger materials. So that seems to be the problem. So I guess if anything, we have to do it this way potentially. Actually, so that's the flaw in this whole build. So we definitely need to change up the rover sooner or later so that we can move things a little bit better. But I think today what we're going to focus on is the base, since we do have a good amount of loot, and also we need to charge this sucker. 4 hours left, which is still decent, but I think it could definitely use a lot more loving in the charging sense. So this I kind of want to get rid of. This is useless to us, so why bother with it? And if anything, gonna add another searchlight right here for now. Completely pointless, but why not? Why not do it for fun? Now we got two searchlights going here. One, and they're both going to detect the same thing. Or I could change it up so it detects different things. That's also a possibility. So yeah, I think first things first, let's change this into a working rover since we have it here. Definitely sounds like a smart thing to do. So let's weld up as much as we can and see where it goes from there. Convert to ship. Oh wow, I didn't realize how low it was. It's pretty low to the ground. That's interesting. There's no power in here, so I think it is out of power. Yeah, it looks like it is. And am I able to utilize everything in here, or a lot of its access denied? A lot of it's access denied. Great. So that's the faulty part of that. But we can always dismantle and hack as much as we can and kind of got rid of that by mistake. But we could just do this instead, and that should help. Okay, let's put that one back. All right, so that's good. Those suspensions, is it gonna prevent me from driving? Probably. But either way, there's no power, so we need to put a battery somewhere. So what is this truck supposed to look like? It looks like it's supposed to be carrying some tubes here for whatever reasons. So let's get rid of these tubes, actually. Now we have somewhat of a bed back here. A flat bed. But what I was actually going to do is add a battery right over here. We're going to add this battery looking like this. And where's the charge port there? Want to flip it this way so I can see the power, or that way? I don't want to do it this way. All right, so I think we have enough for 20. I think we have enough 20 power cells. We do. We actually have enough for a regular battery in the base. So that's something we're going to add right after this. All right, so we got a battery powered up. Now, problem is there's still a lot of things that's access denied, so I'm not going to be able to utilize it. So the wheels definitely. Oh, that wasn't exactly what I wanted to dismantle. Where's the suspension right there? And looks like I never really looted this thing either. So time to loot the vehicle at the same time. So what else is missing? There's a remote control in here somewhere. And all these batteries we're probably gonna just get rid of if we don't need it. But I think we're good here. So the wheels now are good out of nowhere. So good thing and bad thing. So still can't seem to drive it, which is a problem. Parking is not on there. Okay. Okay. Definitely not allowing me to utilize the wheels for some reason. Here's the wheels. They're on. They have wheels. They have no propulsion, no steering. It's grayed out. Why? Why are all these grayed out? Do I have to dismantle it and build my own? Potentially, it shouldn't be stuck to the ground because it dropped earlier just before. But I mean, it could be worth lifting up to kind of see what's going on as well. So let's build some small little pistons on it and raise it from the ground. So we gotta be careful with this. All right, so now hopefully we don't flip this thing over, which is it seems to be likely. And lift this. Yep, so it's off the ground. So I'm not sure why we couldn't turn or utilize our wheels. Do we have to dismantle like that? Because the wheels themselves weren't taking over? That seems quite odd, but okay. Now the wheels are still the same. That is interesting. Okay, so what we're gonna do in this case then is try to take over these batteries. I think if we do it careful enough, we don't lose the cells. There, like that. And it's just below the functional and hack line, so I think we should be okay. Right? Yeah, it's no longer red when I highlight on it, so that's good. So we can get all these batteries back. And here's the remote control. So we can get that off our thing. Turn it to ours. So here's red. So we'll do that minor hack. And hopefully not lose any power cells. And I think we're good. So all these will now be mine. And that's the underbelly. So we should be good. So I'm not sure what is going on here. In terms of the wheels are not functional whatsoever. So if that's the case, what we're going to do is scrap the wheel. And these are 3x3s, yeah. And kind of rebuild it. Well, this is red to me. And now it's green. So maybe that is the problem. Likely. And I can't add a wheel now because... probably because of this thing. Or it could have just been me. Okay, I think that was the problem. Yeah, I can't even add a wheel here, so that's an interesting spot for a cylindrical thing. And there's one in here as well. So that's red and this is red. So that could be why, potentially. Yeah, it didn't go down enough. Because there's no hack line in here. And I think that's what the problem was. So now, okay, now I know for sure. It's the suspension is not below its hack line. That doesn't exist. And that should do it. Okay, so what's interesting is that these cylinders are actually holding the wheels from moving. Which is quite interesting. Oh. That's even more interesting. It wasn't even attached to the suspension. It was loose. So that's what that's about. Okay. That makes a little bit of sense. So these are just not even attached wheels into the suspension, I would assume, right? If that's the case. I think so. I think that's the problem. Because they look quite different. So let's remove this. Yes, that's 3x3 wheel. Well, it should be still the same. But let's just get rid of it and add a wheel here if I can add a wheel. I might not be able to add a wheel because of the positioning of some of the stuff here. So we got to get rid of this right here, potentially. And then the cargo containers. Nope. So that just worked out. All right. So I think it's just this piece. And maybe this piece that's holding it. Or not. Okay. That's fine. But here's the functional wheels. Okay. There we go. So I guess there were spare wheel parts, like the one in the back, that was kind of holding it from moving anywhere. If we can, I would like to put back the thing here, which looks like I could. So I could add that back here. Oh, nope. So I can only add that. Which is... that's fine by me. Okay. So we are good. Now we saved that little rover. Everything's part ours. Oh, we missed a battery somewhere. Could be a battery hidden underneath something that I can't see. Which should be okay, I believe. Could be hidden underneath here. No. Actually, I don't know. That's interesting. How many batteries do we have here? We have... There's 11 small batteries. I'm missing one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So where's 10 and 11? Yeah, I don't really see where that would be at the moment. Okay, so pistons we could lower and then dismantle. So let's gonna do that. Battery might be hidden right behind it. Potentially. All right, so we salvaged this. We aren't moving or utilizing moving large CO2s, as I think that's what it was mimicking. Now we just got a nice little old battery back here for this rover, and we can now drive this thing because it has actual wheels now. So let's get rid of steering on this one and this one. And let's try to work with the wheels. So we have kind of the defaults on here. I like to use between 6 to 12. Let's do 8 for now. Height offset all the way. That's fine. Speed limit, I'm going to do it 120 for now. I think we're good. So we just need to find out where this battery is, if we can, eventually. But for now, we have a functional rover that we can utilize. The only problem I see with this rover is we need to put a connector if we want to charge. But if not, we can always put a solar panel. A solar panel will make it look fairly ugly. For sure. So we will have to utilize a specific way to add this thing here. Hope it would have a smaller footprint in the future, because these are huge and it doesn't look great. So we're gonna leave it as that for now. Maybe replace this with a connector instead. But I like to have these spare parts. It's pretty nice to have a spare wheel in the back for repairs if necessary. But yeah, I think we're gonna just get rid of that. Let's add a connector, so if we ever need to charge up, we can do so. Plus, this will give us additional space to put cargo in. And none of this stuff is connected, so we're gonna figure that out as well. So really no point of having small cargo containers like this. So maybe if I could edit it out and build on it. I don't even know if I can build here once this gets removed. So that's another piece to the puzzle here. But it looks like there's nothing in this cargo container, nothing in this one. We got some stuff here, which is great. We'll take that. So I don't mind the ones in the front, the cargo containers. These kind of act like glove compartment items, which is awesome. So I can store like a weapon or two there, or some food, which would be nice. I'm not too worried about that. But these are not connected. Kind of pointless. So I'm going to try to do is reverse them if I can. So if I hopefully I can still build here. Okay, look, I could. Okay, so that makes me happy. So basically, just going to reverse all these out. And it looks like it's this battery that I missed. And it was. Okay, so I own the whole entire thing now, so it's perfect. So let's flip these cargo containers this way. And we just do a piping right over here. So we can pipe it in many, many ways. But I think a generic tube such as this, or the C-shaped one, will do. Or if you want to play with these ones, which is hard to... no. I'm going to go with the regular C-shape here. And that should do it. So let's just reverse everything else here as well. Okay. Just add a little bit of yellow to it just to give it some extra look to it. We could remote into it as well, I believe, right? The remote control might not be on. It is on. My own thing is not on. Now we can control it remotely as well. So that's awesome. Okay, this thing moves fairly quickly. All right, so no oxygen in here. So that's the bad part about it. And it's going to lack a little bit of battery power eventually. So I do need to connect this on to my base relatively quickly or eventually. But we got an extra rover, which is awesome, and didn't have to spend too much time building it. because I didn't build it. I just salvaged and repaired it, basically put a little new paint on it, and that's what that is. So we could, it looks like we could park it here. We need to make a garage one of these days, and that's, of course, once we get more materials, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to build a bit of a garage, but right now I think we could add a connector down here and connect to it to recharge as well. It's low enough to connect, so that's perfect. We'll go in there and recharge, and that's going to recharge all the small batteries along with the large battery on the top. So that is perfect. So there's a few things we could change on here if we really wanted to. One is going to be the cockpit. If we wanted to have it airtight, have an O2 H2 system, oxygen tank, things like that, we could definitely plug that in there. But aside from that, I think we're pretty much good to go for now, in terms of that rover. So we're not going to do too much with it right this moment. I don't know if we have enough materials for an oxygen farm, which seems to be quite important to have. We need 100 bulletproof glass. If we have 100 of them, then we should be okay. And we do. Okay. Let's build it so we can have some extra oxygen farming from the sun. And we'll just build it up here. Right on the oxygen tank itself. Okay. It looks like we're missing large steel tubes, but no worries. That we can produce for sure. I need about 11 of them, so we could queue up maybe 20 or 30 just extra for now. And there you go. We got our oxygen farm. So of course there's no sun at the moment because it's going down, but that's going to help us gather some oxygen without us wasting too much ice. I think we need to add an armory. Do we want to add an armory in here? And I really should depressurize when I go outside like that. But anyways, I want to make an armory. So if we want to make an armory, we can use the armory lockers or the lockers itself, things like that. So let's see, what can we add? Like the armory locker, but it is a bit of a corner block. Otherwise we use the regular locker or this armory here. So let's see what this is gonna look like. So this is more okay, it looks not too bad, but too bad nothing connected to it, so it's hard to kind of do that. But I think we could put a locker system right here. I don't want a corner locker, or we could do a corner locker. That's not too bad. Probably would be better if I put it right there where the button is and move the button elsewhere. So now we have that problem. Okay, so if I did put an armory, it's likely in this spot right here. I don't really care to move anything, or I can just do this. Yeah, let's do that for now. I think we have the parts for it. There we go. So now we have the armory. So the armory, we could put all our weapons and stuff here if need be. And didn't realize the buggy cockpit actually had some rifle ammo in it. So let's grab that. I should have grabbed that a long time ago, obviously. Didn't realize that was even a thing. Okay, that's looking good. So we could update our armory with all our weapons. So we can just grab everything from the cockpit. And I think that's all our weapons. Yeah, let's put into the locker. So the things that we don't need are going to go in here for now. We're going to keep this rifle ammo and stuff like that. That's for our own use. And probably should have taken... I should have a spare somewhere in my Rover. So... and hopefully I still do, unless I just took it out. Yeah, I think I took it out. I don't... shoot. I think the spare was the MR20 with the ammo, but that came from the buggy cockpit, so that's interesting. Or maybe it was a combination of the two. of the ammo at least. So let's just put this in the cockpit for now. But that's my spare weapon, so we could definitely make more. And yeah, we definitely make more and different weapons as well, because I think we have the materials for it. The okay, so they have the ammo for the S10 and S10E looks like, and a 20A, 16 rounds of the 20A, which is it gonna be for this? No, it's gonna be for that. I'm not sure what the 20A is. 20A might be a handgun. Yeah, this one, which I don't have. I probably lost it. That's probably why. So we can get rid of the ammo if we need to, but I think we should be okay to keep it for now. But I think the ultimate goal is going to be making one of these guys here. This one or this one. And that is the rocket launcher. That's going to be really, really helpful in destroying turrets. But we'll see where that goes for now, because we do need to buy and load up with these things here, missiles, which takes uranium platinum, which we did see in a economy base. So I think we should be able to purchase said items or resources. So I think that's where I'm gonna be headed towards doing soon. All right, I'm gonna take a quick gulp of the Clan Cola, get some no oxygen in here, get our food situated, and should be good here. So we should also make some food if we can. Here's our kitchen, and from last we saw, yep, we can make some apple juice, apple pie, and bread. I kind of want to make an apple pie. So let's just queue that up. And it looks like we can make several of them. 2, because of the wheat. I'll probably end up with a bread, if anything. Or might be actually low on bread. We'll just queue up the 2. We still have some chips to rely on, so we should be okay. But now, I think what we want to do is put up a refinery. But it's a little bit nighttime. I don't really care to do some building at night. So let's just grab some sleep and wait for the morning. All right, morning's here. Time to head on out and build a bit of a refinery. You know what? Before I do that, let's situate this a little bit. Okay, so by situating this, I mean put a sensor somewhere that I can. Looks like there's not a lot of spots where I could have put a sensor, which is quite interesting placement that I have going on here. So ideally right up here is perfect, but no good spot, so we can just put it right on the side for now. Okay, so let's see, sensor field range. We definitely don't need too much on the back, so we can just get rid of it. Actually, let's just lower everything for now. So top and down, I think it's 2 or so. Yeah, that's good enough. A little less, but that's good enough. And then extend it to the left, which is my current right. We'll do 3 reaches right over there, so we could do 3.5, 4 reaches right there. That's fine. Okay. And front and back we'll just do a little bit. So front we'll do 2, back we'll do 1. So actually try to do 2 as well. I'm thinking 1.5. I don't want it to stick out too much in the back. I don't want it accidentally run into it and open a door. So that's the biggest problem. Okay, so that should do it. Okay, so as easy as it's going to be, we're just going to set it up to open and close the doors. So basically, when you're on the sensor, toggle open. If you're off the sensor, toggle closed. And for now, we'll just manually deal with the depressurization. Yeah, because obviously there's an easy way to program it with some timers to say, once I touch here, depressurize, then open. And when it closes, stop depressurization and then close the door and then stop the depressurization. So that way we can save a little bit of oxygen. But I like to have an easy, quick walk right through the doors without hitting the door and wait a quick second. So that's why I'm going to leave it as that for now. But yep. So let's check out our pie. Do we need to set this out in the window to get cool off? Nope. So don't need to eat it now, but I would like to in the future. So yeah, we are set inside. I think we're good. Obviously, I would have liked lockers to have some kind of conveyor option so we can just pull it from there, but kind of didn't want to leave in the storage in here, so that's why I did that separation. Okay, we need to get a refinery up and running because we have a bunch of ores we got from the last scavenge through Bear Camp and the other random camp we ran into nearby. And it looks like it net us a decent amount of ice, as we saw. But it's also got gold and silver, which is awesome. And a bunch of magnesium. A K worth of it at least. So that's going to give us a whole bunch of ammo now, which is awesome. It's not going to help us in terms of the rockets, but I think we get to the economy base and grab that. So that's something I'm definitely going to try to do relatively soon. But we definitely need a refinery going so we can actually get those things produced. So where are we going to put the refinery? No clue. I think we're going to attach it next to this thing here just to give that extra look. It's probably going to be on the side of it as well. So let's add the refinery. And of course, we can add a basic refinery, but I think I'm just going to go with the industrial larger refinery look. Because I think we have the parts anyway, so we should be able to do it. So if we do it this way, at least it kind of connects into it. I want to connect it towards the bottom, not specifically like that. So I think we have to add some blocks here for now. And connect it like this. That looks kind of terrible. I think the way it works is a connection like this, which is kind of weird now that I'm looking at it. Kind of backwards. Oh no. It works this way. It kind of works, it kind of doesn't work, to be honest, with these whole pieces here. But it should work if I just put it like this. But it's not connected to anything, so that's a problem as well. So it has to be connected like up here in order to get the port on there. So that's a bit odd, but it would be like this just to get it connected. We need to add a bit of stairs, but now it's moved into here. Does it have to be this way? Absolutely not. But I mean, we can add more to it if we need to. But I think it should be okay. So we don't need this now. But we definitely need some other pieces on the ground in a little ladder system right over here. And I think this is like a half ladder. Yeah, it's like a half stair. So we do need to build another station on the ground here. Don't have to weld it up, but I think we've got to the point where we have a decent amount of material, so we could just start welding things up to the max if need be. But here's the stairs. This is the half stairs. I got the wrong side apparently. So here's the stair. And that should match up to this refinery stair. Perfect. Let's just give it that little bit of aesthetics to make it look the same. And I really do hope I have the materials for this here. And we're looking good. Large steel tubes might be the issue, but I just need one. And looks like we're good to go. So we have a nice industrial refinery. Okay. So that's all done. Perfect. And we can start moving things into the refinery to get it moving along. And it's actually already did. So we're just going to let it refine on its own. It's going to take a while to refine some of these things, but we probably don't have a lot of power on here as well. And this is where the sun rises. And then it's going to go around this side, I believe. So we could, if we have the mats for it, let's just make some solar panels kind of like right over here to the side of it. Looks like we could make two. So I'm going to build one up here and one over here. All right. So we have additional solar panels. We got 2 solar panels that should be charging up decently right now, and not so great based on where the sun is, as it's moving somewhat. But it should set, I think, down this way. So it's still going to get some more power from here too. And that's just an added, yeah, it's just added power source other than just turbines, where I don't have it high enough anyways, which I should fix that relatively soon too. And then notice I kept thinking and not saying it, but I was going to try to loot those unknown signals, but kept on getting busy and forgot about those. GPS wise, things that I looted so far, I'm just gonna turn them off because it's just too much in my face right now. So we went to the Barnes processing company, I believe it was, but I don't think we went to the MNT station. And if we did, we didn't mark it, which we should have marked it. But the Barnes company, I think there's one turret left, so I'm still gonna say loot it on air, just so we know we've been there. But the refinery is definitely going to help us a lot with our current needs. And like I said, it's going to take a bit of time to refine some of these stuff here, but should be okay. All right, so that's all done. We're got a little bit of upgrade in terms of our home. I feel like we should change. We definitely should make this higher. Let's just do that now. Why wait till later? We're going to need more power anyways. So I have this thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 high, which is decent, but I think we need it a little bit higher, so we can do 9, 10. But then the one we put on the side, you know, it kind of collides into this, so probably do 1 or 2 more. Let's do 12. Let's just add 2 more. Okay. And then from here, what we're gonna do is add pillars all around it. And with the pillars all around it, we could then put turbines on top of those or on the side of them as well. We add the top turbine right here. And we can add a bunch of side ones right here. All right, so got our turbines, newly turbines up and running. They're running pretty quickly because of the storm. These I can get rid of. I don't need additional one of these. Although the storm is pushing it pretty hard, so it should be okay to have. But let's get rid of them for now. And there we go. So that should produce a decent amount of power for the time being. And in terms of getting power, we need to, we should have a battery somewhere as well. So let's stack that up somewhere. So we can put a battery here or above here. Should be okay, I guess. Not the best placement for a battery, but we could throw it right in a corner. I don't see why that would be a problem. So we have all the materials for a battery, a large battery, which is great. That's perfect. I'm actually surprised we got enough power cells from our scavenging and everything like that, but we did. So I am pretty happy about that. We should build some kind of catwalk up here or something so we can walk up here if we need to as a second level. Because I mean, we don't need it, but it'd be nice to walk up there if need be. Is it a dust storm again? Yeah, it's always a dust storm. That's always a problem. All right, so I guess today it's just more maintenance for the base. We did do a little bit of an armory, so that kind of helps out a bit. So we store our weapons and things like that. And I guess I dismantled some of the ammo that I couldn't use, so that's a good thing. And looks like we make assault cannon shells. That's good. And this requires magnesium power. So if we get assault cannons, that'd be awesome to have. And auto cannons looks like it just needs magnesium. So I think we're good in terms of upgrading the Rover with some better weapons relatively soon. So that's probably going to come down the pipeline sooner or later. I feel like we need to change this up just a tiny bit. I want to make something... Yeah, I want to make something right over here. Just to produce... Ooh, that scared me. Just to produce some smaller items where necessary. So we'll just do a hinge system right here. Okay, so we got a hinge system. I do want to make it a small head. So we get that 3x3 head here. And of course, we can flip this guy over towards us. So we can change velocity right now. And boom. There we go. Okay. So here, where we could have added an O2 tank as a small grid, but didn't care to do that right moment. So didn't necessarily need it. So I think what I'm going to do is an O2 H2 generator here. But now it's going to be a smaller version, or a small one. So I'm going to plug it right here. And why I'm doing that is so we can throw in a little bit of ice without it having to be sucked in. I actually should have separated the... I actually didn't even need to connect it to the grid itself, which is the problem. I should have just left it alone. But what we can do is hinge lock it, turn it off. Yeah, I should have built off the ground. I don't know why. I don't need to connect it here at all, actually. So let me get rid of this. I can utilize this port for something else later down the line. So let's not do it that way. So we could put a hinge system right up here, if anything. Where can we put it? We could put it up here. And this house is a bit small, or base is a bit small. We're gonna get that updated sooner or later to give it some more space. But for now, I'm just gonna add the smallest stuff that I need. So I want to put an O2 H2 system here, so I can throw in some ice and charge up my hydrogen a little quicker this way, instead of going back and forth from my Rover, which is kind of messed up the way I have it currently set up anyways. So we're gonna get that fixed. Okay, so we definitely could throw in some ice here. Oop, should have flipped around the other way. And this way we can put some ice here and throw it in that way this time around. All right, so I got a cave ice. That's gonna stay in here and recharge stuff that I need, and by manually putting in there, so we don't lose all the oxygen from the O2 H2 sucking it into the oxygen farm itself, or oxygen tank. So this kind of works out. Wait, I could have added a small hydrogen tank in here too, so it'll be easier. Not necessary. So we'll just leave it as that. All right, so looks like in terms of the survivability piece, the food piece, water seems to run out pretty quickly, but luckily we have plain cola and a good number of it as well. And we got some pies here, so I want to eat a pie. How much does that fill up? It probably would fill me up to 100, I think. Yeah, and probably even more. So could have been a waste, if not, if anything. But can we store it back in here? Yes, we can. Okay, we'll leave that in there. Can we make anything else? No. So that's not great. Okay, so I think we are set to go in terms of everything here. Yep, so I think we're good here. Let me get some sleep, rest up, and move on from there.